Looking for games? Oh yeah, dude, we got games at Land. The store with a name so cool, we can't even say it on TV. Come get some sweet deals. Trade in your old boring games for cool new ones. Anything's possible at Land. Grand opening October 9th in the Voorhees Memorial Shopping Center on the other side of Caldor at the Old Tats and Vape Shop.
Yeah, so what did you think about Rogue Core? It's not even named Contra either. It's just Rogue Core.
Well, it's Contra Rogue Core.
Oh no, the other one was for Xbox.
Hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, I just take a look at it and it's like they're trying too hard. They're trying to make it this wacky Contra game. Yeah.
That's my main problem with it. Is I have no problem with like a panda. Honestly, I mean they could probably pick something better than a panda. That's the thing about the Genesis one. They had a robot and they had like a werewolf or something.
Too,
How much cooler is that than like
But he was cool.
Bear,
he had like a robot arm with a gun on it and stuff. He was cool. Oh, and thank you for letting me back in your store after last time.
It's whatever, dude. Just let's drop that.
Okay.
Like I dropped your ass outside.
Yeah.
So with this, basically my thought is, you think of Contra. Contra was a parody of Alien, and you have Sylvester Stallone, and you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, and blood and guts and gore and all that kind of stuff, and aliens, and you're kicking ass. And then this is like, oh, panda bears, and here we come. And it's also there's like a lot of like little one-liners, and it's just they're making Contra into a mockery.
So there's some stuff that scares me about the trailer right off the bat. And the first one is you look at the gameplay they're showing, it looks like you're just walking down this hallway of death. Like that's super uninspired that we have like these artificial walls on both sides. Like that harkens back to the start of 3D games.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to make it 3D, you're going to make it something like that. Have some variety, have some things. Don't make it like this endless hallway I march down.
Yeah.
What made Contra super awesome from the NES was it had super inspired level design. You drop into the jungle and there's a top, there's a bottom, there's water you're in. They took that 2D plane and made it super awesome.
The fact that you can go in the water and not die too, which was kind of the first time you go down there, you think you're dead, and then you're able to run through the water then and still fight. It's pretty cool.
And the fact that there's 2 levels of gameplay. You know, top, bottom, all of that. And they do that throughout the game. There's vertical travel, horizontal travel. There's hallways that you run through where it's a different perspective. Like, it just seems like a lot of other, like, 3D upgrades. Like, do you remember the Final Fight Streetwise or whatever?
Oh, God.
Yeah, or the new the Splatterhouse game, stuff like that. It just seems a little low rent.
My problem is that if someone's looking at this game now, there's enough time between this and the last real Contra game that this might be someone's introduction to Contra. Has never heard of it. And this isn't Contra to me. Contra should, if you're kind of bringing it back and rebooting it, why is there no side scrolling? Why is it all?
You're afraid that this is somebody's introduction to Contra.
Yeah, and it's just, you know what this reminds me of? The PlayStation 1 Contra games, like Legacy of War and Contra Adventure. Or not, the Contra Adventure.
The Contra Adventure.
Yeah. And they tried to do something different with it, but they had a bunch of people that were probably not the original. I don't know who's working on this. I don't want to say it's like not the original team or something, but you know,
I mean, that was so long ago, it probably isn't, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, Contra went through, after the SNES and the Genesis, the next games were the PlayStation ones, and they were awful. And then they went from the PlayStation ones to the PS2 ones.
Like Shattered Soldier.
Also, by the way, let's not leave out the original, like, arcade versions.
Yeah, exactly.
Either. But they're also, you know, pretty similar to what they had on the NES, at least the first Contra. But, you know, I do want to say, like, I don't want to people are immediately going to say, well, you guys just like the NES version. You just guys like the old ones. But a lot of the later Contras are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had Hardcore Uprising
awesome.
on Xbox. But then even more recently was Blazing Chrome.
Yep.
And Blazing Chrome, sure, not technically Contra, but it's basically
it's Contra.
It's Contra. It's like Joy Masher.
Yeah.
And you know that game was done fantastic, and I think that game looks a hell of a lot more like what you want out of a new Contra than this. Now, granted, this is not out. I have not played this game yet, so I don't totally like to speak on a game that's not out. But we're judging on the trailer, and I think that is the point of a trailer.
Yeah.
To judge it. Do I want to buy the game based off of that trailer?
One of the things that frustrated me about the trailer is it kind of shows a little bit of disrespect to the fan base because Contra is known for its great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then they bring in a licensed track.
Yeah, we're not going to take it.
We're not going to take it.
Which
like
also
something like that.
just makes me kind of cringe a bit because it's like they're trying to make it seem so edgy, but they're using a song that like...
That's not edgy.
It's not really edgy anymore. Like, if that was a commercial for Contra in 1994, holy shit.
Yeah.
But this is 2019 and you're having like some kind of cutesy like, my name's Sky Captain and this is Panda Guy.
Yeah.
And he's real crazy and it just sounds dumb. In my opinion, Konami does not give a shit anymore. They're just releasing games with a name, and that's it.
Well,
the last Metal Gear,
they're not really making their money from those kind of games anymore.
But
right?
It's like, then why continue? Like, why do it? Why fuck Contra the way you did with Metal Gear a few years ago?
I have to say it, right?
Or last year, whatever.
The last good Konami game to come out is Metal Gear 5.
Yeah, Phantom Pain.
Phantom Pain.
Oh yeah,
they kind of played their hand by
that game is so bittersweet playing it because you know you're never going to get another good game like that from them, and it's just sad. I mean, that's what I feel with this though. Is like you got Metal Gear Survive. It's not Metal Gear.
No,
it's its own game, but they use the name and they kind of make it play like it. This isn't Contra.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it looks more like Smash TV than Contra.
Definitely, the top-down dual stick. Yeah.
And they've done that right. I don't know if you guys played Neo Contra on the PS2, but that game was like only the top-down 3D levels, but it was as if those were the most fun things ever.
You know what's funny? You start coming to the realization that to the team that developed, let's say the vast majority of people developing this team are in their like 20s and, out of college, that kind of thing. Neo Contra to them is like super retro.
That's
right.
true.
So they're like, I want to go back to what I remember as a wee boy in 2007 or something. Neo Contra.
To me, what's retro is like the original arcade games because I didn't get a chance to play them in the arcade back then.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever see either of those in the arcade? I went to a barcade that had one.
Yeah,
barcade
way after the fact.
I played one at a birthday party. I played Super Contra at a birthday party, and I remember like playing it and being like, this looks better than the games that were on the SNES and NES, but it feels older. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I've played Contra 3, but this looks better. Like, the games do look better. Right. They have that arcade
It's an arcade machine. They had more power.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, but,
I hope that, like, some of the iconic, like, Contra power-ups and things make their way into this game because it seems like the different characters have different play styles. But like, I want to get spread. I want to get laser. I want to get.
They might do like in hardcore what it is where the guy Ray is like he has the original weapons, like he has the spread, the crash bomb, the homing, and then every other character has like a variation or they have their own shit,
Yeah,
and that might be what it is. Like there is a guy in it who looks like a regular, Contra, like crew cut, muscle bound dude with a machine gun, and he might be the regular dude.
See, I have a problem with it conceptually because it's like if it's gonna be this thing, this very like lighthearted, jokey thing, it's like, well, first of all, I can't even get to the point of like, well, I want this weapon and I want that weapon. It's like I can't get to that point because it's like, well, you have to start over from the beginning and be like, let's take this seriously. Let's have something badass. Let's have fucking, aliens. I'm sure there's aliens in it and all that.
There is,
but the way they're executing it should not be taken lightly.
Yeah.
They should make it. It's like when I saw, you go to see Rambo 3 in the movie theater. And it's like this goofy ass stupid movie. And you're like, this isn't Rambo. But then you go and they made the one from, what was Rambo 4?
It is,
and it's like, that movie's gory as shit.
Just
and it was awesome. That's what they should do with Contra. But
that's how Neo Contra was. There was blood and gore. Like, it actually had legit, like, people exploded and blood flew out of them and stuff. It was fun.
I think that them starting from a position of character and story is not what the Contra audience wants to see. I think it's fine if it's in there, but if we're playing this game...
Contra is about gameplay.
If we're playing this game and we all have to stop and she has to be like, hey guys, we're going on a mission, like... you just lost everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially the Contra audience. The Contra audience is like, game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you didn't even have story in the original. You had it in the book, and no one read the book. You just played the game. It was shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot stuff until you're done. That's the way it is.
The story of the original Contra is, y'all see Alien?
Right. Pretty much, right?
No, like literally, they used in the arcade art, they used Schwarzenegger and Stallone, or basically, and they look pretty much like them, and you're just looking at that, and you're like, okay, well, there's Schwarzenegger and Stallone. It's like supposed to be, like an action
exactly.
movie.
I mean, that's the thing, was like all those games took away from movies, as opposed to now where it's like movie or movies take away from games.
Like Metroid also taking influence from Alien.
And with this one, I just feel like if you want to play a good Contra game, go and get an old Contra game. Don't get the SNES Mini or whatever. Don't play that. I mean, I don't want to say don't play this because I haven't played it, but it doesn't look at all appealing to me. And I don't know any person who's played the other Contra games that's going to look at this and be like, yeah, this looks awesome. Not, wow, this looks fucking disappointing.
You know, one thing I didn't check here. So let's see, what channel is this on? Oh, so this is just on GameSpot, but I'm curious. So
what's like the thumbs up and thumbs downs on this?
It's there are more thumbs down than thumbs up.
I'm not surprised.
It has 132K views. It has 1.5K thumbs up, 1.8K thumbs down.
So it's pretty divided. It's pretty close,
brutal.
But it's divided,
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, this was shown at E3. This is, at E3 there was huge games. There was Keanu Reeves coming out and wowing the crowd, and then you had this, and it's like this is Nintendo.
This to me, not to get on a totally another subject, but it's like when you take something original that was supposed to be taken kind of seriously. Like I'm going to talk about Thundercats, what they're doing. Thundercats Roar.
Are they doing that even?
I don't know what's happening, but that original show, sure, it had like Snarf and stuff like that in it, but mostly the original Thundercats was a pretty like kind of serious.
Straight.
They played it straight.
Yeah.
The original, Contra games, they played it straight.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Well, I do want to mention just now, looking at the description, that they did bring back. They said, they're bringing back Nobuya Nakazato, who worked on the franchise for 20 years. I don't know the name, so I don't want to say.
Speak on it.
He could have worked on the original, and we just don't know.
Right.
But it is cool that they're at least trying to bring people back.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. So
they could be scraping whoever they still got it.
They're like, who's still alive?
Who's still here? Who didn't quit to start their own company?
Did you guys play Contra 4 at all?
That's one of my favorites, actually.
Question. So I played that quite a bit, and I really like doing the challenges in it. Those are a lot of fun because they're quick challenges that you can do, but they're tough. But if you actually do them, they're great. Now I have a hard time because the console. The handheld, it's pretty small, so I got like a grip for it so that I could play the game for a long period of time. Because if you're trying to do some of those hard things, you got to do them over and over.
Are you playing it on a 3DS or are you playing it on like a
3DS?
Okay, it's even worse on the 3DS. The DS Lite was a little bit easier to play with, in my opinion.
Okay,
it had a better D-pad.
Okay, I'll have to try that actually. But what do you think of in that game? How the screens are like vertical like that, which is different than any other Contra. Any opinion on that?
I 100%ed everything on that.
Yeah.
I had it. I bought that. I bought a DS so I could get Contra 4 when I heard about it. Like I played that like when I was in college. That was like the only game I played. I beat that game so many damn times. I got every single thing.
You unlocked all the dudes.
I unlocked everything. Yeah. You can unlock Contra and Super C, but what's cool is you can unlock a ton of characters.
Yeah.
And you can unlock Sheena from Contra Hardcore. You can unlock Lucia from Shattered Soldier. You can unlock Probotector, who's the European Contra guy. You can also unlock, I think, a lizard guy. I can't remember who it is. But then you can, the last dudes you get are Jimbo and Sully, which are the Contra 3 characters. Right. Because since Contra 1 is Bill and Lance, but they say in the book that it took place in the 80s. And then in Contra 3, it starts off saying like year 2632 or something. They couldn't be Bill and Lance, so the American people were, the localization were like, oh, they're Jimbo and Sully, and they're
common American names,
grandsons of Bill and Lance. So when you choose them, they're the SNES sprites, and they're like shorter, but they say like they're like, let's attack aggressively and stuff. They say like all the shit from the game. It's pretty cool.
That's funny.
I remember doing those different missions and challenges and all that. And if you unlock enough, you can play the original Contra games in Contra 4, but the emulation of the original Contra, like the NES games on that, is the worst emulation. It's unplayable.
It's hard to play. It's got a lot of lag to it. That's got lag. Yeah, that is noticeable lag.
That's
I remember playing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a neat unlock, and to be honest, the challenges were fun on their own. Like one of them was like you have to get through a part of a level with only 12 bullets. So playing Contra, awesome. Like, you have unlimited ammo. Yeah. Now when you're limited and you have to know where to shoot, or you have no ammo and you just have to run through and be pacifist the whole time. Or one of them that was great, it was like one of the hardest challenges, is running through the game with the Contra 1 laser. So you're playing like the new game, but you only have the Contra 1 laser that's so like, cool. And every time it shoots, it goes back. That was really fun. And it made you better at the game. Yeah, it was a good way of like getting good.
One of the things they could do in this game to like get the retro players is have it be like Mario Odyssey, where there's like sections where it's side scrolling or something like that. Oh, like where you go in. I guess. Like I thought those sections were kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a neat idea where it's like you go 2D in there and everything.
I definitely need to play those challenge levels though.
Yeah. If you have Contra 4, it's definitely one of the best Contra games that was ever made. It's and the vertical, like the two planes with the grappling hook, it adds so much to the gameplay. And it makes really cool for vertical like boss fights and stuff like that. There's one where you're on a missile that's flying through the air, and you have to like climb.
Are you hopping between the missiles?
Yeah, or something? Yeah. You have to hop on these like. There's these. You
also do that in the Super Nintendo Alien Wars. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, when you do that's going sideways though to fight the one boss. This is like aiming upwards. Yeah. And there is like the final boss. You actually blow his asshole open and then shoot into him and climb up the ass of this monster. And then you're climbing through.
That sounds awesome, Kieran.
I'm excited. Dude, I'm telling you, it's the best. It's one of the best Contra games, other than the Genesis, in my opinion. It goes hardcore and then Contra 4 for me. Those are my two favorites.
Do you have a favorite Contra?
Well, apparently Contra salad toss here.
Yeah. Ryan's favorite is Contra salad toss.
No, I probably played the original the most.
The first one you mean Super C?
Contra.
Just Contra.
So, like, if you're talking about the Contra games that I played that I 100% beat, like Contra, Super C, and Shattered Soldier were the three that I played a lot of.
I never beat Shattered Soldier completely. Yeah. I could never get past like all
tough.
those. It's real hard.
Operation C, anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, Operation C is awesome on the Game Boy. Actually, you ever play Contra Rebirth on the Wii? It was on the Wii Virtual Console.
I did. I didn't really like that very much.
It's okay. It's not amazing. And it's only got like 3 weapons. It's got the laser, the homing, and the spread.
I have to say that the Castlevania Rebirth actually makes like the Game Boy Castlevania a little more easy to play versus like what
the original
which we had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, well, since then I've played. They've made a hack of that since then, which is like faster. It makes it like more playable. But the original Game Boy one is like awful. But as far as Contra games, then of course, Super C, introduced, they had the top down shit. And I like the top down more so than like running through space.
Yeah.
But I probably have played more of the original Contra than any other, because I got into a whole thing where I was doing loops, trying to, you beat the game, then you beat the game again and again, and it gets harder and harder and harder. I think I was able to make it to loop 6 or so. And I've always wanted to see how many loops can you how many loops can you go?
Or whatever.
The Contra that I've probably seen the most of recently is the arcade one, because we have a mutual friend who just like blazes through it.
Rob Steiner, who can beat the game on 1 quarter.
Like this guy's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah, every time I go to Barcade, I'm always like, he's like, want to watch me beat Contra? I'm like, oh yeah,
they have that there.
Yeah, it's always something to see. Yeah. Especially somebody a couple drinks in, but anyway.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I guess closing thoughts, man. This Contra game, if it's, you know what, I'll give it a try. If it's good and it's fun or whatever, cool. But right now, it did nothing to impress me, and I don't know.
I said a lot of negative comments, but as a fan of the franchise and as somebody who wants to see Konami as a game making company, I'm gonna play it. And if it sucks and they didn't do it, I'll walk away, and I gave them their chance. But this one, I'm gonna try just to preserve one of my favorite franchises.
Hopefully they'll do something down the line.
And I hate to mirror all of your statements, but the same thing. If it's stupid to only, what if the game is actually really good and we're like, oh, it's just a shitty trailer. So I'll try it out. I have a feeling it's not going to be, but we'll see. I'll try it out.
Yeah. So
I guess
there you go.
we'll let you know.
So we all played the Contra Road Core demo, and we have some strong feelings we're going to share with you.
Yeah, what you just saw is, before the demo came out, then I went home, I'm like, oh my God, we just shot this Contra video, and now there's a demo out, so we have to add this, right? So I played the game, I played through the demo twice, and by looking at that trailer, which we had discussed, we already know we all thought it looked like shit.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, maybe when the game comes out, I'll play it, I'll give it a fair chance. I played the demo. The demo is shit. I literally went through and I was like, what can I find about this that is good? The only thing that I found is good about it is like if I hit the X button, it works, like it fires. Like that was the only good thing I could think of. Literally, the graphics look like shit. It looks like a mobile game. It's just, it's an absolute disgrace, and I'm really disappointed that it wasn't at least, I expected, I was going to be like, okay, well, it's okay. Like, it was not, I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I thought maybe I'd be like, well, it's all right. It's not even all right. It's worse than the trailer makes it out to be.
Yeah.
The control is shit. The pacing is shit. There's the enemy AI is shit. There's like a million times when you can get behind enemies and they can't even shoot you. You can't even shoot up with a gun. You
need a missile launcher.
You need a missile launcher to shoot up.
On top of that, you got on top of a crate, and none of the enemies could get you. Like Ryan was jumping on top of a shipping crate in the game, and all the enemies just sat at the bottom of the shipping crate, like waiting for you to come down. It was just nothing. There's just a stalemate. Like they can't come after you. They can't jump up real quick or anything like that. Like
what this game is they were like, you know what we ought to do? Instead of going back and like remaking, the Genesis game or something like that, or the NES game, or making it kind of like Blazing Chrome, making it good, let's go back and let's take the absolute worst Contra game ever released, Contra Legacy of War, and let's remake that.
It so felt like Legacy of War when I played it. I was like, it feels exactly like Legacy of War. And I played that game for 5 minutes before I shut it off one time, like when I was a kid.
We did a James and Mike Monday on it. How the fuck do you go back to a game that is critically like the worst Contra game pretty much, and you're like, let's do that?
I was saying too, like, I feel like if someone came out and said that this was a Smash TV update and it was like a budget title, $15 on the eShop or something like that, I'd be like, okay, that's totally fine. This game is fucking $40. $40. And the demo so I rewatched the trailer, which made me hate it more. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, all these characters look like art school generic crap characters. The girl with headphones and goggles and a Band-Aid on her face. It's the most generic, like, cliche characters that I've ever seen. The main guy, I thought, okay, maybe he's Bill Reiser or something like that. No, he's some Bob Dole. Yeah. I don't know what his name was. It was something generic. There's a monster guy. I don't even know what the fuck he is because the graphics suck. They look terrible. This game looks 10 years old, and it plays 20 years old.
Now, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, Mike just wants the old NES Contra. That's all he wants. Nothing new. But guess what? This game isn't new. This is Legacy of War, a shitty Contra game that they've already done. It's not like let's say that this was bad, but they were trying out all new things. I could at least then be like, well, they tried something new. They failed, but they tried. No, this is shit from fucking PS1 era that didn't work that they're redoing.
Do you want to play a twin stick shooter where your character slows down when you're shooting? Do you want to play a Contra game where your weapons overheat?
Yeah.
Do you want to use a special ability that requires jumping that you can't use while jumping? What the hell?
The thing is, too, so I'm going to just say this. If you want a good game that's supposed to be like this, pay $15 on eBay and get Neo Contra for the PS2. And then go to a flea market and buy a $10 PS2. And you're still spending less than this game is. There's no way anyone in their right mind should spend $40 fucking on this. That's $40. That's 2/3 of the way.
Now you sound like what I was saying about the Sega Mini. You're like, just get off me.
No, but this is like there's I can think of so many, like if I go on Steam right now and I had $40, I could buy like 10 good games.
Yeah.
This is $40 for this one piece of shit game, and it sucks. And I thought it was only a Switch game, so I thought when the PS4 one came out it would look better. It looks worse. It looks even worse comparing the PS4's graphics, because you could see where they blur the graphics to get your mind off of how shitty it really looks.
Yeah.
Also, the zombie that hits the screen.
I was just going to say,
it's like a
generic shit.
Yeah.
It's the first time it happened, I was like, oh, that's just annoying. I don't like this.
That can be cool though. Remember Turtles in Time where the guy hits the screen? But it like looks awesome because it's like a sprite. This is like, it's supposed to be like this gory thing. Like, they would do it right if it was like, Doom 2016. Like, like that's like the kind of gore that you would want it to look like. I don't think they knew what they were doing with the art direction with this. And like, I hate to shit on, because here's the thing. You're like a game designer and you're like, oh man, I'm going to get to, design a game. Oh my God, what game do I get to work on? Oh my God, I'm going to get to work on Contra. What a dream come true. Yeah. And then the top brass comes down and they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to remake Contra Legacy of War. Yeah. But we're going to make it look like a mobile game. What do you think? The dude must have been like,
this game.
Yeah, you know what I wish? I wish that they spent more than $40 making this game.
Yeah. It's just, and that is like one thing I will say. I'm sorry to the people who worked on it and that were shitting. I really don't like shitting on these things at all. I really don't like to do that. But this game, you're expecting me to pay $40 for this. We didn't get this game for free. We played the demo that was for free, and that's supposed to make me want to play this game. It didn't. Between the trailer and this, I am so like, I would pay $5.
That said,
to buy this game.
In the history of us reviewing stuff on Cinemassacre for many, many years, there have been many terrible games that we've reviewed and shit on, but you will find out later that a lot of times the developers that are working on the games, they know when they're making it that it's not good, and they have to do it because it's their job, but they know while they're making it that it's not good. I would not be surprised if the guys making it know the problems, but it's probably not their fault.
Yeah. The guy that produced this game worked on Contra 3.
Yeah, Contra hardcore.
He wrote the script for Vandal Hearts 2, one of my favorite tactical RPGs of all time. He worked on art on Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Big games. Awesome. Amazing games. You can't tell me that he wasn't sitting in his office saying, what have I done?
No. I mean, honestly, it's like what we said earlier is who's left at Konami that hasn't, been fed up with the company already. I feel like he was somebody who's been working at Konami forever. He probably just is like, please, dear God, I want a good Contra game. I want to be here at least to guide this thing through.
Right.
But they're probably just sitting there and shitting on him like they did with everybody else. I mean, Hideo Kojima had to leave because Konami is just a shell of what it used to be. Konami was probably one of the top companies throughout the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Metal Gear, Contra, Castlevania, like what else? Like Rocket Knight for the Genesis. There's a ton of the Simpsons arcades. They were on top. They were probably, other than Capcom, and sometimes they even rivaled Capcom. I would say that they were like the two main companies. Capcom's still going strong. I mean, they had their hiccups here and there, but Konami is like not even Konami anymore. It's a joke. This is awful. Between this and Metal Gear Survive, I have no hope for this company anymore.
I'd like to say I don't like. I don't know what they could do, but I don't like the camera angle they're using for that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to play a good Contra game, you play a game that doesn't have the Contra title. Contra Hardcore Uprising. I was looking for it. I wanted to play it on PlayStation 3. I couldn't find it. So the way I found it, it's on Xbox One X, downloadable, pretty cheap. I think it's like 10 or 15 bucks or something like that.
Yeah.
And sort of like with Castlevania, I'd want a more like classic style. It doesn't have that. It's an anime type of game. But even with that, that's not my preference to have a Contra that's anime.
Yeah.
I was able to put that aside because the number one most important thing to me always is gameplay. Mm-hmm. And that game has very good gameplay for the most part. There is a boss fight or two that I don't really like, but 90%. The game's fantastic, and you can go through and you can buy, shit at the store and upgrade your characters.
I have everything upgraded
and
right now.
There's a lot of replayability because you can get the new characters and go through it again and again and again.
And the new characters are actually pretty cool. Like there's the one guy that you get, Leviathan, and he plays like the original characters. Like he's one hit kill. He uses spread and machine gun and stuff like that primarily. But then there's one character that actually has like a sword, and she's pretty cool. You can upgrade her sword.
I don't think there's been a Contra between that and this new one.
Unless Rebirth came out after Hardcore
for like the
I think that's it.
Yeah,
right. I don't think there has been another one either.
Yeah, so I don't know. They've had about 9 years or something to do this, and like this is what they come out with. When the last game was actually pretty damn good.
And the sad part is it didn't even have the name Contra in it. It was just Hardcore Uprising. It has the music. It has the characters from Contra Hardcore. The first level has the theme song and everything, but it's not called Contra. But it is a Contra game.
Oh, it's through and through.
Like
the first mini boss of the game is like the first level in the original Contra game. It's a Contra game.
The gate and everything.
Yeah. Yes.
And I like the way it looks a lot. It's by the guy who does Guilty Gear, Daisuke
Oh, that's
Shiwatari.
awesome.
He does all the graphics for it. So it has a really cool like animated look. Everything is real fluid. But it plays like classic Contra with dashing. And you can do like kind of cool moves like parkour kind of stuff too.
It does look really good. Like I'm just saying I would prefer it to look more classic style, like Rambo, that kind of thing. And it doesn't look like that.
They are weird designs, the characters. Like the guns are huge and like the characters wearing these weird outfits and stuff. But other than that, I get Neo Contra, and you're still spending, $10 less than this game costs at retail, which is it blew my mind when I said
I can't even come up with a price for it because honestly, like unless it was free, because it's not even, there's nothing good about it.
No.
Yeah. I like to be fair and be like,
that's the thing, I hate shitting on stuff.
I would love to point out something, and can you guys think of anything good about it? Like really, I could not think of one fucking good thing.
No, there's nothing. Just, it's worthless.
How'd you like that title screen?
Oh, the fixed image with no animation, no nothing, just fixed.
It's a picture, and
PNG
they have like
desktop backgrounds.
There's like embers going, like you expect the background to have fire. Yeah, and it's just pictures of fire.
Do you know how easy it is to do the particle effects? Like
this game is like not even a swing and a miss. It's like they pitched the ball to you. You whipped the bat into like the crowd, smashed an old woman in the face. She's messed up. Yeah. You're paying her doctor bills at this point. Your career is over. You have PTSD from batting an old woman. This isn't even like, this game is just, I really wanted to give it a chance when we were talking about it, last time, and it killed every expectation I had for it to maybe be good. I played the demo and I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's real. And I never shit on stuff. I always love everything.
To try to end on a more positive note, so we've established this game's bad. This game already has a reputation online of being bad. We all know that. So I love the Contra franchise, though. And going forward, I hope this doesn't totally fuck Contra forever, because I'd like to see more Contra games. It's hard for me to... I would like to see something new with Contra, but when they just need to do something new that's not fucking it up. Yeah. So I don't know if they can do anything beyond the side-scrolling Contra style to make it new. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, to make it new, but not to have it just be the same thing over and over again.
Well, look at Gears of War 5, best-selling Xbox published game, best release of any Xbox published game ever. Gears of War has that Contra feel to it.
Yeah, I always felt like it was...
I mean, there's definitely things that you need to do to bring it back to be a Contra game, but definitely they need to invest more in the budget. Maybe not as much as Gears, but invest more in the budget. Cut down on all this cartooniness and stuff. Get back to the core demo. Make it feel good. Control is number one in a Contra game.
Yeah.
You need to have the control.
That's another thing we didn't mention
Yeah.
There's literally like almost a full second of lag between your input and when they move in the screen. I didn't notice it until Ryan said something, and I thought maybe, I have it plugged into a capture card. No, it's plugged to the TV. Ryan would hit, like, you feel it. You hit the button, and then the character goes. Like,
also, speaking of control, I fucking hate, like, turning the fucking line, like, around on the character. Like, that sucks.
I would have been fine if it was just your stick just shoots in whatever direction you're pointing it in, but the fact that you got to hold it and then hold down, and then you're jumping with this, and then there's another button
maybe if you turn and you're like, and your gun, like, kind of, like, locks on the guys or something. Like, I don't fucking know.
I feel like if the control handled better, the control scheme would be fine.
Yeah.
Because, like, I got a handle on it, but it just, so much delay, sucked. You never want to slow down in a shooter. I don't know.
It was painful.
Yeah.
It was really painful. Like, it really was.
Yeah. It's a disgrace.
Not even worth downloading the demo.
No, get the classic collection, the Contra classics, because that's, if you want to support Contra and you want to make sure they keep making them, get that, because that's the only thing that's going to do it right now. And if anybody, I don't know, maybe we're missing something, but like,
go on your
somebody gonna like play this and tell us why you like it, because I need to know why someone would ever
do that.
Like this game.
If you like it, tell us.
And especially if you're a fan of Contra, there's no Contra there. The name is Contra, I guess. That's about it. The C is in the front.
You want Contra? Go on your Xbox One X and download Hardcore Uprising if you haven't played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.